Hello everyone, and welcome to another review. Today I have for you a review of a fragrance that was just recently released from the house of Thierry Mugler, consistent with their line of pure malt, pure coffee, pure Havane. It's none other than Pure Shot. Now I've been testing this one for about a week, so here goes. We've had great weather here in New York, so it kind of gives me the simulation exactly what I needed to get out of this fragrance. But here is the box, Amen Pure Shot. Yeah, right there. White on blue. The back actually has an image of the spokesman of the fragrance, and that's Oscar Pistorius. He is a South African paraplegic runner. He's considered the fastest man without any legs, and that is the inspiration of this fragrance. So here is the bottle itself. I actually like it better than any other of the Thierry Mugler lines. There are by far still the same exact design, but the colors change. But for some reason, I love the color scheme of this. It's just white with a blue star in the middle and gets the job done. Very beautiful. The bottom has your serial number. Man, you're not going to see it just because it's a white bottle, but good stuff. They actually have improved the sprayer. It's actually much easier to spray this one for some reason, even though it looks like the exact same bottle design. It comes out and just comes out immediately. You know, no more kind of pressing down. It comes out in almost like a little dribble. So they have improved the sprayer. I'm not sure what they did, but it's definitely improved from the previous one. So some of you who used to, cut off the top just to spray and get a good spray in, you don't really have to do that anymore on this. It's got a nice one. So this fragrance, again, as I said, was released literally like last week, maybe a week, 2 weeks ago. It is created by Jacques Huclier, who is actually the same person who created the rest of the Pure series, and that's Angel Men, Pure Malt, Pure Havane. Actually, he isn't credited for some reason for creating Pure Malt, and I think that just may be that they supposedly just took Amen and stuck it in a cask of bourbon or whatever it was. So, but he is created with, he created B-Men, he created Icemen, so those scents are all on his resume, all right? Now, this is only available in 3.4. It is a limited edition. You can buy it on the Mugler USA website right now, so I just literally checked and they still have these available for sale. You can buy it for $85. Shipping included costs around $95, so it's going to cost you shipping and tax about $95 to get this. So it is on the higher end of fragrance costs as far as designer fragrances, if you would classify that as this, which I might be tempted to. Now, with that said, let's just get right on to the notes. The notes of this consist of from the top, freezing mint, juniper berries. The mid consists of white pepper, and the base consists of sequoia wood and patchouli. So a top. Now, earlier I kind of mentioned what they were going to. Actually, I did not. So let's just go ahead and read off what they were trying to picture with this. That is, want to feel invisible? The new Amen creation is perfect for thrill seekers. Amen Pure Shot is an effective performance trigger with a 3-stage structure. The first spray releases the coolness of ice mint combined with juniper berries for a whiplash effect. Then comes an explosion of powerful spicy white pepper notes to trigger an adrenaline rush. Finally, an intense redwood and patchouli heighten the sensation to achieve the feat. So they divided into 3 stages that this fragrance supposedly gets, and unlike their taste of fragrance, for those of you who are familiar, this actually does exactly what they say it does. When you first spray it on, that juniper berry and that mint really give you a cooling scent. It is a very cooling, at the same time, fresh scent. After about 45 minutes, you're going to start to get a very heavy white pepper type scent. The mint and the juniper berry are going to start to recede, and throughout the whole fragrance, what you're gonna smell the patchouli and the woods in the back. So a lot of people have said that this doesn't remind them of the rest of the Pure series, but to me, slightly it actually does, and that's from the patchouli in this. The best representation that I have for the patchouli in this is, imagine that they just really toned down the volume on their previous creations for the base, and that's what you get in it. It's almost a little bit of a sweet type patchouli, very smooth, that's kind of in the background and it's just laying low underneath the entire fragrance. And that actually probably leads to some of the issues that I say that this fragrance has. But anyways, after the white pepper starts to recede, and after you get that pepper, you're going to get those woods that kind of come up, the patchouli and the sequoia, and that remains as the base. By that time, the juniper berry and the mint are pretty much gone. You're going to get almost a fresh, peppery woods type smell that comes up in it. So their description of the fragrance and what they're achieved is actually spot on. Now, I will say, after testing it a couple of wearings and after going through, by about the third wearing that I wore it, I started to really pick up on the rest of the notes that are actually in this. At first, when I first sprayed it, I only got mint and juniper berry, and then it went to a spicy scent, and that's it. It was only after testing it a couple times that I started to get more of the woods, and I started to smell the woods in the background of the entire fragrance. Right? So, to their credit, they got the description spot on, no issues. As far as sprays go, I say you can. This is one fragrance that you can really go nuts with. I sprayed, here, and on the back of the hands. Even though the back of the hands isn't really a nice place to spray it, but just because I wanted to, smell it as the day went on, and even so, it's not going to become cloying at all. Which brings up, the projection of this fragrance, and the projection really isn't that good for this fragrance. It's more, almost more of a personal scent. At least for me, it came out that way. It didn't really project well, but despite the fact that it doesn't project well, it has excellent sillage. Now, for those of you who don't know what sillage is, it's almost like a scent trail that you leave behind. So while it doesn't jump out at you, when you pass people, it leaves a very nice scent trail that they will smell. So when I asked people, what they thought of the smell, they couldn't smell it and then I would walk past them. They'd say, "Oh, okay, I got it right now." And they'd say, "Yeah, it smells nice." So that's what kind of this fragrance actually does, which is, almost ironic considering that this fragrance is modeled after the South African runner. And, you kind of picture a runner running and he passes you and you smell him. I guess that's what you kind of get. And that's what this fragrance does. Right? So despite the fact that you might not get great projection, you're going to get great sillage out of this one. Now the occasion, I think this is a perfect work fragrance and a perfect casual fragrance. Work because it's not, jump out, in your face type fragrance, but it's a very cooling type scent that not many people are going to be disgusted by when they smell it. I mean, there aren't many people that are disgusted by mint when they smell it to begin with. So as it stands to reason, there are not many people who are going to be turned off or disgusted by this, or a soft woods type smell. So best occasion I think for this one is work and casual type occasions. So going along with that though, this fragrance is a summer fragrance. This was Thierry Mugler's answer to people, I guess, who said he only made the same type of scent, dipped it in this, dipped it in that, added a little bit of chili here, dunked it in a vat of malt there. So he created a fragrance, and it looks like they went around and just created something that was, suited for the summer and different along their lines. It keeps a little bit of the same DNA from the Angel Men series, the base underline, though it's not the same, and jumps into the summer realm for it. So this is definitely a summer fragrance. I would even say this is not a spring fragrance. This is not a fall fragrance, and this is not definitely not a winter fragrance, but it really needs the heat to really achieve its true glory, if you will. So definitely a summer fragrance, If you're looking for something for the summer, definitely look at this one. Now, as far as age group goes, anyone can wear this. Anyone can wear this one, whether you be young, whether you be old. I think you can pull this one off regardless. Just like the other Angel Men series, the other Pure series, this is versatile as far as age groups goes. Now, try buy or pass. I don't really like doing that anymore, but this one I would definitely say try, especially if you're a Mugler head, if you want to call it that. If you're into collecting the Pure series and you're expecting this to be great, be right off the bat, be warned that this is different than the other the other of the house. Basically, you may be disappointed in it depending on what you were actually looking for. I know those of you who, I know I was actually disappointed when I very first smelled this, just because I was hoping for another darker type fragrance, just because darker fragrances are my love. I'm not very much a fan of light fragrances, though there are a lot of fragrances that I like. It's just that the choice between light and dark, I like dark better than light. Same difference goes for when people ask between Creed and Tom Ford. I'm a Tom Ford man rather than a Creed man. But, to each his own. So, definitely a summer fragrance. Definitely check this one out if you're a fan of mint fragrances, fragrances that are light, fragrances that are more geared for the summer, that aren't really cloying, that aren't ever going to be cloying. If you're a fan of spicy fragrances, check this one out. However, if you're a fan of the darker fragrances, if you're not a fan of pepper, definitely don't check this one out. Stay away from this one, because the pepper note is very prominent once you get past that juniper berry and that mint type smell. If you're looking for a powerhouse type fragrance, stay away from this one. Not going to suit you on that aspect. So, in terms of fragrances that this is similar to, it's not really similar to a lot of fragrances, but it has a lot of very small, I guess, comparisons almost to other fragrances, or very small comparisons. Like some people said, well, kind of reminds them of Mint Fresh or Cartier Roadster, more along the lines of Cartier Roadster, or it reminds them of B-Men, or it reminds them of Iceman. And they're all right, because I kind of get a little bit of each of those in this fragrance, and yet at the same time, it's not each of those. Initially, when I sprayed this, immediately I thought Iceman. But, the second time I sprayed, I was like, well, no, this isn't Iceman. Maybe it's closer to B-Men. And then I was like, well, it reminds me a little bit of Roadster. And I get exactly what everyone is saying on that, as far as what it reminds them of. But it's both that and not that at the same time, if that makes any sense. As far as compliments goes, I did not get any compliments with this fragrance. Passing by, the best thing I got was it smells nice. Nobody said that it smelled bad. Nobody disliked it, but at the same time, nobody liked it. I work with a lot of female coworkers, a lot of male coworkers, and between all of them, nobody was outstandingly, floored by this fragrance. But at the same time, nobody was disappointed or, with this fragrance. They just thought I smelled nice, and that's kind of what I expected with this type of a scent. Same thing goes with, Cartier Roadster. That kind of got the same reaction from my skin. So, at the end of the day, what would I rate this fragrance? Now, most of the Thierry Mugler fragrances I've given either 8, 9s, or 10s. My scale is 1 to 10, 5 being an average fragrance. The worst rating that I've ever given Mugler fragrance was just slightly above average for the Taste of Fragrance, or the Pure Chili one. This one, in my opinion, gets a 7 out of 10. And I did my review a little bit out of order just because I wanted to touch upon the very last point, and that's longevity. Longevity in this one is extremely bad on my skin. I've heard reports as well from other people that they're having longevity issues too. I thought maybe it's just my skin, did a search online. There were other people having the same exact problems on base notes with this fragrance. I get a maximum of 4 hours in this. After 4 hours, it's gone off my skin. Gone. Done. So the very first pure minty blast, like this one I sprayed about 30 minutes ago, and the mint is just now starting to recede. What you're going to get from the mint is about 45 minutes to an hour, whereas the spicy pepper part is the part that comes up after that. You're going to get that for about an hour, 2 hours, and for the last hour-ish, you're going to get the redwood. I'm sorry, not the redwood, but the sequoia and the patchouli. After that, gone. And I've worn this now, 14 different wearings or something like that, and the same results every single time. Prep my skin accordingly, and the same results every single time. Very poor longevity that I've gotten from this. So be warned, you might get great longevity off of this, but be warned that by far out of all the Taste of Fragrances, out of all the Pure series, the Thierry Mugler series, this one definitely has, the worst out of it. And earlier I mentioned that the patchouli seemed to be the same from the Amen series, but highly, diluted. I think that's part of what's causing this fragrance not to have that same monster-like prep, monster-like longevity that the Havans, the Malts, the Angelman series generally has. That's about it, though. This fragrance overall, I would definitely describe it as something. If you're a fan of the Pure series, definitely pick this one up. If not, give this one a shot. Give this one a try. See if you can. I'm not sure how you would go about getting a sample, maybe some from someone online. But either way, I'm actually satisfied with this release. It is different in their line. Initially I was very disappointed, but after spending about a week with it, I'm actually, very satisfied with it. And at the end of the day, I think this is a fragrance that I can see just picking up, randomly during the summer. I can't really picture it, me planning myself to wear this fragrance, but it is a very nice fragrance nonetheless. So again, if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free, leave me a message, send me a note. I always take care to try and answer as soon as I possibly can. But again, just leave a message, do what you gotta do. Thank you everyone, and take care of yourselves. Have a great day.